US dollar is the so-called reserve currency, right?
Yeah.
Like you hear this everywhere.
Correct.
So first, what does this mean? What is a reserve currency? And how did US dollar come to be the reserve currency?
How it came to be the reserve currency was because they won the Second World War.
Right.
Right? And they were the largest economy in the world, and everyone trusted it. See, you will say if there are 5 people, and say there are 5 people around us who all have different currencies, and we have to agree on one currency. Actually, let me take a step back. So let's think about what a reserve currency means first. The first is the medium of exchange, right? That when you're doing trade invoicing, you necessarily have to have exchange rates. Now, suppose there are 30 major currencies in the world. There are 30 major currencies which account for 85-90% of world GDP. Now, if all of these exchange rates, all of these 30 currencies have to have liquid exchange rates. You know what liquid exchange rates means? That there is sufficient demand and supply at all times. So if I want to convert from, say, a rupee to a Turkish lira, I should be able to do it, in a liquid way.
And with least costs.
Least cost, exactly. So and that I can do it whenever I want and at the lowest possible loss or gain. Now, maintaining, as a basic math will tell you, it's NC2, right? So basically 30 into 29 by 2 number of exchange rates that need to be kept liquid. If you think about 20, so all of those crosses have to be kept liquid. If on the other hand, all of us can agree that let's have one guy who we all trust is the most responsible. He may not be very responsible, but he is the most responsible. We'll say let's maintain. So then you only need 29 crosses. So whenever I want to convert from, say, the rupee to the lira, I convert from rupee to dollar because that's liquid, and then there is a dollar to lira cross which is liquid, so I can convert with the lowest cost. So for the system, having one currency in which everyone invoices or everyone has a liquid exchange rate with is most efficient. So that is one reason, one way of quantifying a reserve currency. So because the US was the biggest economy, of course it was the dominant power, and also was the largest trading country in the world, it was a natural choice at that time. The second aspect of being a reserve currency is that the signaling of safety. So what can happen, just like we discussed runs on banks, there can be runs on countries. So any country will have foreign assets and will have foreign liabilities. Suppose I am a country and I have, say, $100 of land in Nigeria. And to buy that, or not to buy that, for some other reason, I have, say, $80 of liabilities which are like loans which have to be repaid in 2 years. Now, given that I have $100 of land and I have only $80 of liabilities, if I want to 2 years later borrow $80 from somewhere else and then repay that loan, and it can work. But if suddenly people start doubting whether that Nigerian land is worth it or not, or my paper rights or whatever the rights are proper or not, then no one will pay me money. And then suddenly, because of this liquidity problem, my currency can start getting devalued. Now, so to prevent that from happening, you have to signal that, look, I am a safe country, that if you hold my currency or if you transact with me in my currency, you will not lose money, right? And it will stay liquid. And so to signal that, people or countries, and mostly central banks, start building up reserves. Now, you would want to build reserves in currencies which are considered stable by everyone else. And this is a classic network effect problem, right? And people are on some social media platforms because everyone else is on them. That may not be the best social media platform, but you're there because everyone is there. And it's somewhat similar in the case of building foreign currency reserves, that you want to build reserves in assets which everyone else thinks are safe. And because everyone else thinks they are safe, then they also become liquid and easily transactable. So that is how the dollar has turned out to be the favored currency in foreign currency reserves, as well as in invoicing of trade transactions.